Hi all. Uh, hope you can give me 10 minutes just to hear my recent video. Sorry I haven't done a video for about a month now. I guess one of the reasons for that is not just having a lot on. I've been on holiday, so it's always a bit intense before and after that. But a much needed break for me in south of Spain. And I properly switched off, which was nice, and did not a lot really. Ate some fancy food, which was nice. And I'm hoping that everyone else, I know other people across the service have been under a lot of pressure as well, a lot of extra work coming in, especially due to the circumstances that we are working in with special measures and all that. A lot of extra being put on people. Appreciate the extra mile that everyone's gone into, and hopefully you'll get a chance to take a well-earned break sometime across this summer period. Moving on to the things that I want to talk about today. I think first thing I want to talk about is PADRs. We have had an increase in the number of PADRs done up to 82%, which is great, but we've still got a long way to go to get to 100. We all committed as managers that we would make sure, and all staff, I'm saying all staff, I want all staff to commit to make sure they have at least one PADR and appraisal conversation a year. This is the conversation bit is the most important thing, and getting to that point where we've got a view in terms of some mutual benefit and objectives in terms of what we're trying to do. Really keen to make sure people are all involved in where we're going in future and are clear about how they can contribute to our success. So really important to get to that 100%. Where people have not had an appraisal, I'm keen for people to raise their hands about that and make sure it happens. And I'll be picking up with people who haven't as well. And their managers when we do future reviews in future months. Training, compliance training wise, is up to 94%, so full respect on that. It's a real pain doing some of that for me personally, but great that it's getting done, so appreciate that. And just another positive as well, our sickness absence has decreased as well, which is a good sign to see in terms of how things are around here. Not saying things are perfect. I know there are still some issues and possible concerns in terms of how things operate in some places, and what we're trying to do is trying to change that slowly. One of the tools that we're looking at the moment is an approach called compassionate leadership. One of the reasons for doing that is since the special measures intervention, clearly one of the big issues has been about leadership culture and all of that, and ultimately the recommendation is that we look to apply an approach called compassionate leadership. That's really about empathy and listening. It's about things like emotional intelligence, managers being able to have those skills about emotional intelligence. It's about supporting and developing people to get to where they need to do. It's about that mutual benefit thing we keep on talking about in appraisals, and that's clarity of expectations to help people succeed and giving people the help and development they need. But it's about people as well putting their hands up and saying, hey, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't really know how to do this. I'm struggling with this. I need some help. Nothing wrong with that. Get your hands up, and we're here, and we want to collaboratively help with this. And trust and collaboration is obviously an important part of that. Working together and getting things out there on the table is important so they can be dealt with. Really pleased with SLT and SMT. Don't get an easy time of it with that lot. They're very happy to say what they think and raise things that aren't working properly, and hopefully we can work through some of those things. And in a similar vein, it's important that that sort of stuff still happens across the piece. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, compassionate leadership is about empathy and care, but it's about balancing that with accountability and responsibility to deliver the organisation's objectives and our objectives. So there is that balance there. So just to be clear about that. So we're thinking about that and considering how we can deploy that or implement that, or not sure how to do it 100% yet, but how we can do that across the service as a whole. A few other bits of news, some appointments, and Harad Wiggin has been appointed as the head of patient records. So well done for that. She's also provided some words which I'll include in the email which comes with this video, which is to thank the team in the access to health records area, which have halved the backlog. Yeah, So the backlog in access to health records was so significant. So full respect to you guys for doing that. I know we commissioned an external party, BGSS, who did some process assessment, service redesign, and the like, working with the team to help with that. But basically, I'll detail on some of that in the email, just the detail of it for your interest. But it's amazing that working with the team through some business change that and service redesign has resulted in our ability to have the backlog and hopefully improve the way it works. Still a lot more work to do. Many recommendations came out of that service design piece which still need to be implemented, but full respect to everyone in that pressured service for taking that on and doing that. Another mention excuse me, is the end of year coding target. For the coding team, there was a massive push to achieve this, with people giving up their weekends to get where we got to and get where they got to, should I say. So a great effort and a big thank you to the team there, the coding team. We've achieved the Welsh Government target of coding over 90% of our episodes for the last financial year, and we did all that by mid-June. So not many health boards will have achieved that. So thank you very much. Full respect to that is a really tight ship. I think the coders. I'll try to get out and see you guys again when I'm about. But when I have been there, really impressed by the focus and the effort put into which is a very specialist and technical role. So thank you very much for that, coding teams. Also, can't let this video go by without congratulating the WPAS team, of course. That implementation has gone really smoothly, really learning the lessons from previous implementations. I think there was 114 people or something like that involved in the implementation, and 70 something on the weekend with hundreds of lines of tasks that needed to be done. And although there was only one blip in all of it, and thanks again to the patient records team who sorted out that blip for us, really, which was a week of pressured work there as well. So thank you very much for that. But long and short of it, overall, we've got to say that superb piece of work there. Also, another team that have done fantastic, Service Desk. I think I mentioned this in the last video, but I'll mention it again now just in case. And that's the achieving the Service Desk Institute commendable accreditation at the first attempt. So that's a real accreditation and maturity level. So full respect on that, and great job to all involved and being proactive in that. Service Desk, again, one of the unsung heroes. They're there, answering the phone, dealing with issues. Sometimes I'm ringing in with some last minute things on a Friday night. So, thanks again to the team there, and getting that accreditation is commendable. So thank you for that. Various other things, of course, going on. We'll know that the corporate Wi-Fi and guest internet infrastructure refresh has gone, is nearly complete. So that's brilliant. We're also conscious of the fact that we've also got our cybersecurity posture reinforced with the implementation of things like spyware, the IoT firewall modules. So when I'm in Abergele, I've had the odd overview of that. So that's another great step up, where actually, from my point of view, in terms of our ICT service, certainly when it relates to infrastructure, cybersecurity, and those elements, networking, etc., I think, observation from me, we are ahead of other health boards by far, and that is testament to clearly some continual development and people in those teams really knowing their stuff to get some of that done. So hats off, and thank you for that. The VRF work, single sign-on rollout. The single sign-on rollout, I should mention, in each of the EDs, I understand that's gone quite successfully. So the Improvata stuff, we just need to get clear about the value proposition for that, and just to prove that as a demonstrator. We do need to shout about these things a bit more across the health board. So I'm asking Sean and John about some of the things we do. It's unsung, really, and we're not just hide our light under a bushel. We hide the we hide the bushel as well sometimes. So again, we just need to start thinking about how we might be able to shout about some of these things and make them relevant to patient care, which that one clearly is. Obviously, Jane and team, well, and others have been involved in it. Continue to roll out WNCR and Stream. We're almost done with that. So again, the amount of stuff we're doing is incredible, and we have got a lot of stuff coming over the brow. Coming over the hill like a monster is the song that I'm sure. But ultimately, things to think about: the risk program, last minute getting dumped on us. There's going to be the link program as well. So thanks very much for the team working up a really comprehensive business case, miles more detail and more accurate than other health boards. I can tell you that now. So it's great that we've got the accurate cost for them. We're really thinking about the business change elements, the works that's going into EPMA, another big program of work. Again, really thinking about the business change element and service design at the front of that. Some great work going into that. There's the link project to come, as well as doing all the other things we're doing. So I do get that. And of course, as part of the special measures piece, the work that Catherine is doing, we're getting us to be a data-led organisation. A lot of thinking going into that, developing our data strategy, which will be part of our digital and data strategy. Andrea and team leading on shaping the refresh of our strategy, and of course the work we're doing with our fragmented systems. So we are looking to do some tactical work in ED. There's some service design work going to be starting in July time with the ED department, and a lot of our folk are going to be working with the external provider there to learn as much as they can to try and build that capability in our own teams. So absolutely loads going on, all of which I appreciate puts the pressure on. In terms of the pressures, the financial pressures, conscious of the fact a lot of our pressures that we identified last year have been funded. It gives us some level of flexibility, especially if we have turnover and staff and that, to start doing new things and implementing our operating model. As I said in the last video, we did not get the funding we wanted to implement the operating model properly, but we might have the opportunity to start incrementally doing that through a plan B, depending on what we can do within our existing finances. So SLT, SMT and others are looking at planning some of that. But overall, fundamentally, there's an absolute load of stuff going on. Too much, I know. And I'm pleased with the progress that's been made. It would be great to have a bit more space to think about the things that are really important for our future in BCU. We tend to be very reactive to Welsh Government and others, and I'm thinking about ways in which we can potentially address that. Again, how we can start to manage DHCW better, help them be better. All those things are quite important, and an awful lot of it is about relationships. It's really about how do we take people with us, how do we work with people effectively, not just shout at them and tell them the shit, or the opposite to that. It's about being clear about where we need to get to, what we need to do, helping to raise them up to the levels that we're working to, and we'll get better results, because we all have got that common purpose at the end of the day. We want to make a massive difference to the people people in North Wales. We want to put a smile on doctors and nurses' faces. That's what we want to try and do, and hopefully improve outcomes for the people in North Wales. So keep on doing what you're doing. It's all progression, as people tell me when I go to the gym. We are making progress, and thanks very much. Any questions or anything, don't hesitate to drop me a note or to come onto one of my fireside chat or Teams videos, and there's the opportunity to have a chat and a discussion there. Thanks very much, everybody. Bye.